sports, 100% reflective. Sometimes it's Raven. Sometimes it's other teams affected. Hold on tight, strap in. It's going to get hectic. Couch Rider Report, an original sports perspective. Welcome back to the home of original sports perspective. From our couch to yours, this is your host, Jermaine Lockett, and what a gloomy Tuesday. We saw it, folks. We all saw it. We had him. And we let him off the hook. It's basically what happened yesterday on the Monday Night Football. Oh, my goodness. It was like we was so close. Everything just seemed to just go in every direction. Everything that could go wrong goes wrong in 1 second. And then all of a sudden for the Raiders, everything that could go wrong went wrong. I just want to talk about a few things, kind of what happened, and then what do we know, and then what can we use going forward. So I'll probably be doing a second live stream, I want to say, on Wednesday, but we'll see if that's gonna actually happen. Anyway. What happened was, hey, Baltimore, you let 10 unanswered points go down before the half. And then, oh my goodness, it just seemed like it was just tit for tat. All of a sudden, Baltimore scores 3, they scored 3, we score 7, they score 7, we score 3, they score 3, boom, it's overtime. And before you know it, Raiders had the momentum. Raiders took advantage of that momentum, and Raiders closed the game out. No matter what y'all think about the sideline catch with Renfro, all that is details. In the end, Baltimore could not close out the game. So what do we know? What do we know about the game? There are mesh point issues when it comes to the running backs in Baltimore and Lamar Jackson. So with that, they had to clean that up. And I feel like that is why they kind of went with Murray towards the end of the game. Either that it was more of a revenge thing. Maybe he just felt some type of way when he left Oakland. But I felt Murray wasn't getting the job done. I mean, when you're averaging, 2.8 yards per carry and your starting running back is on the bench in the second half of the game when he was the one averaging like 7.2 yards per carry, I think he had a pretty solid night. He had 89 yards and a touch, I believe, or 86 yards and one touchdown off of 12 carries. I think Tyson Williams can carry the load the rest of the season for the Baltimore Ravens. He's just got to get the experience with the mesh point because that did cause one of the 3 fumbles, and Lamar caused the other 2. Got to protect that bread. Got to protect that bread. Now, what else we know? There is a defensive scheme issue because you could see it. If the Baltimore Ravens were playing zone, Darren Waller was exploiting that because he knew he didn't have Marlon Humphrey one-on-one with him. If they decided to put Marlon Humphrey one-on-one with him, then the Raiders would come out and use against man coverage, drags or crossing routes with whip routes across for Renfro. And he would just simply take advantage of those routes and move upfield, get a lot of yards after catch. And he was the big key piece of the Raiders' comeback because he was just working his way downfield if Waller wasn't working his way down the field. Good times. Edwards and them, they showed up at the end. Edwards and Zay Jones. But for the most part, Renfro and Waller were the weaknesses of this team. Jacobs had some decent runs even though he was having issues with his turf toe. He was putting metal plates in his shoe just so it wouldn't flex the toe. Anyway, moving on. Crosby. Mason Crosby, folks. That dude is a full-on monster. I mean, he had 9 pressures and was just hitting Lamar left and right. And then he had 2 sacks. He was just eating Lamar's lunch. I honestly believe that there should be a competition going forward between Villanueva and Ely. They need to bring Ely up from the practice squad and just let them have a full-on competition because it did not look like Villanueva had Lamar's back on that right side. That right tackle position is definitely not secure, and it is going to be a problem going forward if they don't handle business. I know it's week 1. Everybody's trying to shake off the kinks, but hey, it is what it is. Baltimore lost because they could not protect that right side. And, of course, they lost because Lamar couldn't protect the bread. He had 3 fumbles. 1 was on the mesh point, and 2 when he was simply trying to escape. You got to protect the ball a little bit better as you go into the ground. And what else do we know? Lamar is ticked as usual. After a loss, pretty much is what he says in the presser. And, you got to move forward. He's going to have to take a look at this. He's still dynamic. He's still a crazy runner. He's still going to improvise. But we didn't see the evolution of the passing attack like we wanted to see. We did see chemistry start to grow between Sammy Watkins and Lamar. And we saw the same thing we normally see with Hollywood Brown. Good pepper targets. He catches all of his passes. Thought that was impressive. But they definitely need to grow on the offense and definitely need to figure out a way to do these things here. So they need to practice the mesh point going forward with Williams so he can be that lead back. Make sure y'all got it down, or maybe have some type of little keyword, like if you're taking the ball, say bingo or something along those lines, Lamar, so you can just go ahead and have that understanding that you were taking the rock this time. And then when it comes to just have less snaps for Murray, because dude was not that effective, or open the competition up for Murray to be benched and maybe bring in Freeman, or maybe even use Cannon. Or Le'Veon. I think, something along those lines needed to shake, but Murray was not the answer. He had a touchdown, but it did not look impressive. He stumbled off into the end zone. It wasn't a dominant type run. It's just like, I'm here? This is great. They need to find a zone blitz scheme that works. Something that eliminates the tight end, but allows them to get pressure on the quarterback, because Pat Mahomes is not – he's going to destroy us if we do not find a way to get in there. And then, like I said, the right tackle job, it definitely needs some competition at there. Bring up Ely, let McCarry and Cleveland, try some snaps there to see what they can do at that position, because they are pretty tall. McCarry is about 6'4", but I believe that Cleveland's about 6'6", and the Ely is a pretty tall guy as well. So he's also just made for the position at right tackle. That's where he played at it in Oklahoma. But if Baltimore wants to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, they cannot come in there with a similar performance that they played the Raiders with. It just won't happen. It will not happen, because Cleveland played a full-on great 3.5 quarters against the Chiefs and ended up losing the game. They shouldn't have lost, to be honest. But Baltimore can't come in there and play them the same way that they played the Raiders. There's nothing against the Raiders. The Raiders played an amazing game, had a good comeback. And honestly, I saw Derek Carr come through the tunnel in the pregame show, and he looked like he had it on his mind. He looked like he wanted to be that guy. To come in there and throw up over 430-some yards, dude was balling. Absolute balling. He had great vision. The pressure wasn't there. And that was another thing. I felt like that Baltimore's pressure should have been there, but you had McPhee in on pass rushing downs. And I felt like if you want to you want to use those picks. Use the pass rushers that Baltimore has brought in, that Eric DeCosta has brought in. You had McPhee on pass rush. It should have been Owe, and honestly, say Hayes. I mean, Houston, let them teach the veteran tips, but I know y'all brought him in. I know Baltimore brought him in for a reason. So I feel like, they were trying to use him, and he did get a sack. But I think Owe got one as well, and I think Owe needed more reps. The more reps this guy gets, the better he's going to shine. I say start phasing McPhee out and let him just use more of that experience on first down. Let him stop the run, but for the most part, let these dogs eat on the outside. Anyway, that's all I really got. I can't hold y'all too long today because I got to go to work. But this is the home of Original Sports Perspective. For Mark Castillo's, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down, baby. And also hug your fellow Raven. We are not okay today. Take care. Peace. 2 claps. Fade to black.